got her to be on my show and talk about, we're all deadheads and stuff. And anyway, she wrote this wonderful book called Birdenwheel, and it's about her travels and touring to see the Grateful Dead when she was a young kid and stuff like that. And started reading it like 3 days ago and got up to the 5th chapter, and it's very, very compelling and very well written. KHEN listeners, welcome Lindsay Rice to the studio. Man,
Hi.
Lindsay, thank you so much for taking time out of your day for this. I'm excited about this book.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really nice to be here and talk with you about it.
Yeah, fellow deadhead here in the show. How did you get in? When did you discover the Grateful Dead?
I discovered the Grateful Dead when I was a sophomore in high school. And
Me too.
They came to my town. I was living in Kansas City. That's where I'm from. And they came to Lawrence, Kansas, Bonner Springs, and I saw my first show.
They played Bonner a lot, and that's where the original Wakarusa started there, wasn't it? Right outside Lawrence, Kansas?
Yeah, it's outside of Lawrence, Kansas.
Then they moved it over to Arkansas, but man, what a lively music scene. Did you graduate from a KU there?
I did not. I did some graduate work later on from KU, but I ended up going to Iowa.
I ended up traveling to Lawrence, and very surprisingly, what a cool town it was. It's 30 minutes outside KC, but man, was it Massachusetts Street? Is that the main street?
Mm-hmm.
The Love Garden is the best record
yeah.
store I've ever seen. And then they have so many venues that bring in top-notch acts. Who would have thought Kansas? But you think of Kansas as flat, but Lawrence was like big hills, big trees, big rivers and stuff, and it's like a really cool place. But anyway, enough about that.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in high school, we would travel to Lawrence on the weekends for shows, and yeah, it was really a great scene. And then Bonner Springs had a big outdoor amphitheater, and that's where I saw my first show in 1991, June 25th, 1991.
Was there a speedway out there at Bonner Springs
Kansas
also?
Speedway, I'm not sure if it's right there. It might be somewhere else in the area.
I was thinking of something about that, but
yeah.
How did you get into writing?
I started writing when I was in 8th grade, and I had a wonderful teacher who really encouraged me. I started with poetry. And writing short stories, and then just all through my high school years I had a lot of encouragement to write, and did programs in the summertime and was part of the literary magazine in my high school. And I was really lucky to have wonderful teachers that encouraged my writing love. And then I went to school at Iowa and studied creative writing and English literature, and got to really work on my craft more there.
And is this your first published book?
This is my first published book.
I've got up to the 5th chapter, and it is very compelling, very well written, and I can put myself into the different characters and the different scenarios you've written about. I can't wait to read the rest of the book, and just getting into the characters of it and stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not a memoir, so it's not solely about my experience traveling with the dead. It's a braided narrative, so I have 5 main characters, and some of them are deadheads on the road, but others are, family members, and then I have one character from the 1890s, but mostly it's set in the 1990s, so it's historical fiction, magical realism.
Names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Yes,
and all
for
that.
sure.
I love all the characters, and I'm just getting into the story of how it develops and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I have one character, Cass, who is kind of based on my experience more. She's from Kansas, and she's just getting into the shows, so it's kind of a fresh perspective of a new deadhead. And then Rowan is a character from Southern California. He's kind of a seasoned deadhead. And Devin is an older deadhead. So I've got kind of the gamut of different kinds of deadheads. Hetty is a woman who's living in northern New Mexico by herself, and she's kind of an older character. She's Rowan's grandmother, and it's her story too, just about living on the land and talking with her spirit ancestor, Percy, who's the last character, and he's traveling across the country looking for work in the 1890s. So a lot of the Grateful Dead music has roots, in other American music traditions.
Exactly.
I wanted to capture that. But I love these characters. It's a very character-driven novel.
When did you start Did you have a Volkswagen van?
No, even though that's on the cover of the book. We had a 1990 Dodge Ram van, so it was like a really nice conversion van. We had a bed in the back and a side, bench and a little ice box. So it was nice to travel and live in that van.
Did you go coast to coast in that, or what states did you usually cover?
I did a lot of California shows, Northern California, and Oakland was kind of the home base, Shoreline and Mountain View, California, and then a lot of Midwest shows, Indiana, Kansas, where are the other venues around there? Ohio, and then traveled to the East Coast a little bit too.
Who did you see? What cities did you see over in the East Coast?
In New York, I went to lots of Madison Square Garden shows. It was crazy.
MSG.
We had to travel. We had to stay in Secaucus, New Jersey, because it was way too expensive to stay in the city. But the Dead did a lot of runs there, like 5 shows in a row, and we got to go to those. And I went to Boston Gardens. I did not like Boston Gardens. I had kind of a rough experience in Boston. I even went as far as Vermont.
Very cool.
So, wherever the tour was, however I could get there, and whenever they were happening and I got tickets, I went.
Man, the parking lot scenes at the Deadhead shows are just legendary. And you can find anything, any type of art, any type of sticker, any type of t-shirt, cheese sandwiches, anything is being sold at the parking lots. And anyway, did you sell cheese sandwiches to fund your trips?
Oh yeah, we sold beer and grilled cheese sandwiches. We were known for like real cheddar cheese and real bread, and we also sold like coolers full of beer, Heineken, Bass, Sammy Smith's. Highly illegal to do that, but it happened.
Yeah,
and people wanted that when they came out of the shows. They wanted a cold beer, and we provided.
and before the show too.
Yes.
So
yes.
Man, that brings back so many memories of the parking lots and just the pre-party that goes on before that. Man, I was a young 16 years old when I got my first Deadhead show in Oklahoma City. Dick's Picks 19. It's like Oklahoma City Fairgrounds Arena. It's like I definitely got on the bus and never got off. But one thing about listening to Jerry and the Dead is like they exposed me to so many different types of music. I was not a bluegrass fan at all until he came out in 74, 75 with Old and In the Way.
Oh yeah, I love Old and In the Way.
Oh my gosh, it's like I've been a hillbilly ever since. And then the blues, and he got into playing with Miles Davis. He got me into jazz and just got me into almost every type of genre. And the Dead they welcomed anyone to play with them. I mean, they collaborated with so many people.
They did. I think my first foray into the music was when I was growing up. My dad played guitar and he played blues. So there was always blues being played in our house. I can't recall all the artists right now, but that kind of inspired me, knowing that my dad played guitar and that the music was kind of already in me, and then getting to explore it. And like you said, there's lots of different genres that it exposed me to. Funk,
Reggae.
Reggae.
Fire
Sure.
on the Mountain. It's like, I never listened to reggae much. And it's like, man, they collaborated with everybody. It's like, that's what's so cool about them.
Yes, for sure. And I saw lots of other bands when I was in high school too, like Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I also saw at Bonner Springs. Merle Saunders was wonderful. And on tour, I saw a lot of Jerry Garcia band shows too. So Jerry would play like his own music that was a little more roots, gospel type of music.
Did you ever get to see the Legion of Mary band?
No, but that is my favorite. Like, of all Grateful Dead, I will go to Legion of Mary.
I love their recorded music, what's out there and stuff, and I never got to see them.
Yeah, I didn't.
But I've got to see Melvin Seals for a few times and stuff like that. But
that's what I've made a point of going to see Melvin when he comes up to the surf in Buena Vista, and to me, he's the real deal, and he has that blues, root too.
Yeah, whoever he has playing with him, they can sound just like Jerry too, and it's like they noodle and stuff. You know how
Yeah.
it goes.